Welcome back to Central News. Despite the Steamers and Taranaki scoring 2 tries, Taranaki took the win last Friday at Moore Park in Katikati, but over 2,000 people turned out to support the game. Sean Horan was supposed to join us today, but he is unable to as they've scooted off to Taranaki for their second game. But today I have Quentin joining me and we're talking about community rugby. Quentin, thanks for coming on the show today. Now, 2,000 people turned out at Katikati. What does that tell you about community support?
Yeah, the community support in Katikati is huge. It was pouring down with rain and still 2,000 people turned up on a muddy, terrible day. And the rugby club got it right in behind the day and set up marquees and temporary stands to make it look like a real huge event. And we had local kabahaka groups and a curtain raiser with the local high school. So it was a really great day. Pity about the result, but it's a pre-season game, so we can't read too much into it, and just a great gauge for our coaches to set up for the season.
And it's great to see so many people getting out and about. How are you encouraging more people to get out and support not just the Steamers but also the club rugby level?
Yeah, so we've got a good advertising campaign going on at the moment, which is running over the radio. Also, we've got our Steamers, so our professional players doing school visits and holding little forums with students and that sort of thing too. So, and I think the odd game of touch gets played as well. So, getting those guys out in the community is great. Also, we've got Steamy, our mascot, who's out promoting rugby and good health and better living and that sort of thing. So, there's a hell of a lot going on at the moment. With club rugby, we're getting down to our the business end of the season, so teams are sort of working out where they'll be coming in the competition, and the top 4 looks pretty strong in all grades. So it's a very busy but exciting time for us at the moment.
It's good to see, for kids to have the opportunity to interact with their local rugby stars, if you like, and get Steamy out there. What do you anticipate the community to see from the Steamers this season?
Game-wise, I think they're going to be very strong this year. There's some great players who have returned this season, and also a couple of new players who have joined the ranks. So we can expect more of the same last year, but probably a little bit better. I'm hoping anyway.
We'll sidestep away from the Steamers for a moment. Tell us, how is club rugby going?
Yep, so there's a whole lot of different areas in community rugby. So in terms of our club rugby competition, in the Premier grade, it's starting to really heat up. Tauranga Sports are sort of the clear favourites at the moment, but that could change because with the Steamers getting into the swing of things, a lot of their players get taken away to be involved with the Steamers ITM Cup, so that could have an effect on them. But we've still got Waka, Rangatawa and Rotuiti and those sort of teams doing really well in the competition, so it's starting to get very interesting. And of course our Division 1 Baywide Division 1 competition is starting to heat up too, with Te Teko who got off to a bit of a slow start with their points, but are doing really well now, and even old Katikati, who it's their first time in the Baywide Division 1 competition, they're doing really well as also. Colts rugby is going along really well, but there's a clear favourite there, Te Puke Sports, who are the top team, the team to beat that everyone wants to knock off. But you've also got your Tauranga Sports and Greerton, Marist and Te Punas who are up there too. So it'll be an interesting next few weeks.
And has there been any more teams really shone through that perhaps weren't so much in the limelight as they were last year?
I don't think so now. At the start of the season we had the Waikitis and Te Punas doing fairly well, but as the season's progressed, attrition and that sort of thing, the top teams have sort of shown themselves, and the regulars are at the top of the competition now too, so it's sort of all fallen into place, I think, for those strongest clubs. So
how has it developed over the season in terms of skill and club camaraderie?
Yeah, so we actively Bay of Plenty Rugby actively get into the clubs and try and upskill our players and coaches. So and we're seeing that too, because the skill level in our club rugby is quite high at the moment. In terms of our coach development, which is a huge part of our rugby development, our coach numbers are up hugely this year. I think we had 469 registered accredited coaches last year. Now we have 541. So it's looking really good there, and we've sort of got the view that if we can upskill our coaches, then it's just going to flow on to our players. And I think it's easier to upskill a handful of coaches than a huge amount of players sometimes. So yeah,
absolutely. So what is set to come up for the remainder of the season then?
So obviously we're moving into our club finals time, which is the 7th of August. So that's a huge day. Not too sure where it's going to be. The area with the most teams qualifying for the finals day usually holds that event. So right now I think it's looking like it could be in Tauranga, but that could change also. Then we move into our rep program, obviously with the Steamers, with our Bay of Plenty development side, under 20s, under 18s, under 16s, 15s and 14s, and we've also got back a Bay of Plenty secondary school girls team this year too. So that's a huge move, I think.
Very, very good. Now, just before we finish, anything else happening in the Bay of Plenty Rugby Union that everybody needs to know about?
Yeah, in a couple of weeks, and I'm sorry I can't remember the date of it, but we've got the World Cup Roadshow coming. So the World Cup Rugby World Cup's going to be on display in Rotorua and Tauranga, so that's a huge event, and hopefully people can get along to that. But you can find out those dates on our website and get along to that and support the World Cup and Bay of Plenty Rugby.
Thanks for coming on the show today, Quentin. Now the team has been announced, so check out who your Steamers for 2011 are at boprugby.co.nz. After the break, PJ Graham tells us that he is a Māori.